My work is a visible diary of my life, of my children, my friends, the people I love. There's nothing unusual about that, I know, except that I've always seen things bigger than life. A little over the top in a carnivalesque sideshow sort of way.
It's hard to place what Pat does in any one category. Outsider maybe fits her best, since her art is unschooled and exists somewhere between Grandma Prisby's bottle house and the life-size clay soldiers they unearthed in China. Her sculpture is a lot like those soldiers, created to give the illusion of permanence, protection, a fortification against the fleeting nature of life. I think Pat thinks that after she's gone, it will take some very strong men with heavy sledgehammers and maybe even a bulldozer to smash these memories into oblivion. And if they succeeded, they would still be confronted with the poems that are carved inside each of them.
Zalman and I met on a big sailing ship in the Caribbean. We were kids then. This is one of the first pieces I did right after we met. It says it all.
Here I am as Adam, waking up in the Garden of Eden and finding Pat there. A protective Eve.
When we first came to California, I shared an old powerhouse studio with Jerry Rothman, a great ceramic sculptor. Because of him, big seemed natural.
Pat was pregnant then.
Here I am with Chloe inside me. Gilly was the hidden one here.
With both babies, she worked up until the day they were born.
Of course, the kids were the masterpieces, but I did hundreds of pieces there. Where are they now, I wonder? God knows.
This piece of Pat's was sold to Peter Sellers, the actor. We created it up and shipped it to England. The Beatles were there with Peter to celebrate its arrival.
Once I was poking through a demolition junkyard, and I came upon this. The Three Graces. I did them years before. To get them back, we paid 3 times what I sold them for.
Things are like people. Some have their day in the sun, then it's over. Others hibernate in the shadows for a while. Time passes, and if they're lucky, someone comes along and pulls them out, breathing in new life.
We found these angels when many of the brilliant religious works of Mexico and South America were being sold as kindling wood.
Believe it or not, there was a time when even Tiffany domes were falling under the wrecker's ball.
These windows came out of an old Pasadena green and green house that was being torn down.
We've always lived in an ever-changing installation. The angels, the winged creatures, coexist well with Pat's art. The ongoing treasure hunt is part of her inspiration.
I identify with unsigned works that were done simply out of the need to do them, the belief in believing.
Our home is a testimony to our curiosity. We see other people's art as a celebration of life. We learn from it.
Some people collect for profit, some for prestige. We collect always for pleasure.
We like things with stories behind them, myths and mystery.
We also like saving doomed works that will never come again. We're scavengers.
Once we bought a carousel and Pat sculpted her life going round and around with the wooden animals on it. Her parents were in the ticket booth watching. Our friends and our kids were in chariots.
Our children grew. I always wrote, and I started writing more. Passionate movies with Zalman and musicals with Jim Steinman. As storytelling became more and more a part of my art, I got interested in inside, unseen things, like secrets and dreams.
The secret of the magic circle. Dreams of flying. Dreams of friends. Fram dreamed she ripped open her chest, tore out her heart, and buried it.
This is her offering it prior to burial.
Gillian dreamed she was a lion.
Or maybe I always just thought of her as one.
Christina saw herself as a totem with the old trickster raven.
Prayers made visible. thank you for a miracle. We made more movies, traveled a lot.
Pat gave up her big studio, wrote a lot more, did a musical with Andrew Lloyd Webber, and finally began to paint. Ode to Alice. This is one of the first. It came right after Pat lost her mother.
Alice loved frogs. Here she is, flying in heaven with Albert, my dad.
The paintings are pretty much the same subject matter as the sculpture. Family, friends.
Diana beside herself with ostrich eggs. This all began when I realized I couldn't see Diana's ears. Her face was a perfect egg-shaped oval.
Later, she told us that she once dreamed of eggs falling from trees.
The white wall.
This is our gardener and his family, dark and warm against the cool, uncaring, classical white. Tattooed friends.
Hot winds blow, hormones rage. Laura dreams of Betty Page.
More of the sideshow crept in. DL's collarbone reads, I live, I die, I kill for my family.
Strange thing is, he's an orphan. Her name is Rabbit. Right after this was painted, she jumped from a balcony. Can you see that in her eyes?
The paintings followed the same patterns as the sculpture, reverting back to the inner drama.
Ming at the window, looking in instead of out. Pamela dreamed she went back to her grandparents' plantation in South Africa. The gate was closed, and as she pushed it open, a huge sliver pierced her hand.
There was a mysterious man on the other side of the gate. He pulled the sliver out, and as she held her hand up to the light, she could see the ocean through it.
The dreams of the women of Alta Avenue, my neighbors.
Here's Lou, with the young man who terrorized her for years in her dreams. Turns out he was a kid who tried to kiss her when she was 16.
She grew up and grew older. He stayed the same in her dreams.
Valerie slicing bread in a bright white kitchen and saving it in a Ziploc bag.
And Nancy next door with her dream of environmentalist female giants and their three-eyed pug dog. They came for lunch and she couldn't decide whether to give them cloth or paper napkins.
Ruth dreamed she was in an exotic bazaar and she was so busy buying a vest that her dance troupe went on without her.
It always amazes me that there's so much that's extraordinary in the ordinary. More prayers, more wishes. I'm Allegro for Jamie. Blue skies for Shannon. Once when I wasn't feeling well, I dreamed that the sky filled with a huge shimmering fish, which no one could see but me.
A placard hung from his stomach which read, "I am the Lord thy God. Prepare to die." Because of that dream, Pat finally went to the doctor. It saved her life.
Escape from the prophecy. Another time I dreamed I was in an old wooden plane with a bunch of paratroopers. The hatch opened and they all jumped out, leaving me alone without a parachute. I grabbed a wooden angel and jumped. Her wings broke my fall. We floated down gently together.
I was also falling at the time and was able to grab Pat's skirt.
We floated down gently together.
Which brings us back to the very beginning, the part about the need for the illusion of permanence. We all fall at one time or the other.
Until we take flight again.
Pat's work has been seen by very few, but her creative process has never stopped. When she was a young girl, she wrote a poem that says it all. Do you still remember it, Pat?
I think so. I'll try. It's a little, I don't know, but here goes. Knead the clay of hour and day, twist it, scrape it, bend and shape it. Watch the liquid long line form of future transform. Until death, until dust you must. Create, create.